than 9 million records of Australians.
The single most devastating cyber attack that we have experienced as a nation.
6.5 gigabytes of personal data from almost 10 million of its customers, all now dumped on the dark web.
This is one of the great challenges which faces our country and our economy today.
Names, dates of birth, Medicare numbers and sensitive information was stolen.
So a lot of EU citizens are grabbing second passports, and I'm going to discuss two passports which are top priority for a lot of people, one of which you get instantly. In 3 to 4 weeks you can obtain this passport, and this is one of the best, fastest passports that one can get. And a second passport, which is one of the most powerful passports that you can acquire naturally without any donation, without any heavy investment. In fact, for free or next to free, you can obtain that second nationality, which also happens to be a powerful nationality, and it happens in 2 years, right? 2 years of wait, and then you can apply for the citizenship and you can secure your future. Now, before we deep dive in both of these two options, what are these citizenships, how do you quickly acquire these passports, I wanted to discuss the prime reason why European citizens, particularly citizens of Germany, France and Spain, are trying their level best to acquire these passports. There are two types of people. One type of people who can wait slightly, they don't have all the means, or they don't believe in investing heavy amounts of money to immediately get the passport, so they can wait for a couple of years. So they go the natural route, which is almost free. I'm going to break down how this is even possible. Second category of people are desperate. They cannot wait. There's too much uncertainty. They want the citizenship right now, and you can get this passport in 3 weeks. In 21 days to 45 days, this can be secure. Some of the biggest reasons why this fear exists is because of digital IDs. Now, when you implement a digital ID system, you're collecting all their data, you're collecting all the information, you're saying it's going to be secure, but there's also terms and conditions where they say we are not responsible for anything that happens in a lot of cases. So they mandate it for you to provide this information, but when it comes to taking responsibility, they try to play with the terms and conditions. And a lot of citizens don't believe in a centralized repository. The second thing in play over here is AMLA, Surveillance Authority, right? So this is something that affects a lot of people. It's not that they're doing anything wrong, but the extensive amount of information that is collected may be uncomfortable, because you're talking about clean money, you're talking about your own money, and then there are all these layers, right? There are all these reasons why you have to go through some of this negativity. Third reason is possible CBDCs, and EU is one of the biggest advocates of implementing this. So before anyone else, they're going to try and push for this and get this implemented in your home country. And once it happens in one big powerful EU nation, everyone else would almost be forced into accepting this, right? There's a good chance that will happen. So this not only affects the French or the German or the Spain citizens, this affects the entire EU. The fear is going to be for all nationalities equally. The fourth one is possible asset registries, right? So if you are required to report, and if you're required to present or give them information on all your assets, and the pretext is, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, why not give us all that information? We want to make checks, we want to make sure you're clean, and we want to make sure that you're clean not just now, but also the next month, the next year, the year after that. So we will keep track of you. So if you haven't done anything wrong, then keep supplying us that information, and we'll keep investigating you to make sure that you don't go the wrong path. So keeping a tight watch on you. Now, some people might love this, which is fine, but a lot of people, a lot of wealthy people aren't very comfortable by this philosophy. The fifth reason is possible wealth tax. Now, there's all sorts of discussions to impose things like citizenship-based taxation. So rather than trying to focus on reducing the taxes, they're trying to copy other jurisdictions and trying to identify ways how taxes can be increased. Wealthy people are going to be prime targets because that's where the money is. So wealth tax could possibly be something that they would consider or could consider in the near-term future. And sixth is EU-wide bank account registry. So let's say you're talking about Europe, you have a European citizenship, you won't have a European residency. What happens if they come up with a registry which requires all EU citizens to hold a common repository of these bank accounts? This is an idea that has been floated for quite some time, And if in future, in the near term future, if this becomes a reality, then privacy, banking privacy will be a thing of the past for EU citizens. So before any of this happens, you want to secure your position outside. And all of these issues come amidst the weakening euro, gigantic national debt, and to complicate matters, a lot of places enforce mandatory military service. That region is not getting any safer. So tomorrow, if something drastically goes wrong, then you got to be careful of certain countries which would expect you to go and fight for the nation, right? So you pay for it and then you fight for it. And a lot of people don't believe in old school concepts where the politicians make the war happen and the citizens go and fight those wars and fund those wars. Now let's keep the negativity aside. Let's talk about the positivity, right? What are the steps that you can take to secure your position so you're not just dependent upon that EU passport? But the key thing to remember over here is that because you have an EU passport or a Western passport, you have all the access. So travel and travel mobility is not an issue. What really is an issue is making sure you have a plan B, you have a diversified situation outside. A situation can be a plan B home, it could be a bank account, it could be a property, it could be non-financial institution based assets, meaning if you want to have assets legally outside the financial institutions, then you want to have security and protections for those assets from the jurisdictions that you have threat from. So if you have threat from your home country, you want to make sure these assets are located outside, which makes you more secure, feel more secure, because it's not within that EU or Western framework. But the key emphasis that I would like to focus on is that the second passport you're not really getting for travel mobility, you're not getting for visa-free purposes. This is diversification option. This is the cheapest option, the fastest option that you want to have in place right now. Now, some of the bad examples of fast options are some of those Caribbean citizenships. They charge you twice or thrice the amount because now EU has bullied them to accepting all their terms and conditions. So they have bumped up the price. They have lost, in my opinion, they have lost all credibility. Even if you have it, I would highly say in certain cases you got to run away from it because they're collecting too much information. Where that information is passed on to, I don't want to comment on that, right? They give you different answers, whatever that is, and all are not bad. Some might be okay in some circumstances, but those, in my opinion, are absolutely not plan B options. They'll get the best of the best busted because they claim that they do the due diligence forever, right? So if it takes a year, that's a long time to pay for it and go through that due diligence. The fastest passport that can happen in 3 weeks, which collects the least amount of information, which is in your favor, in my opinion, and this is not immigration, legal, or tax advice, this is my personal opinion, is the Vanuatu citizenship. And because we work with the direct processor for the government, we can get you the best concession that is legally possible, the best discount that you can really get anywhere, and you can get this the fastest with us. If you're interested, you can always click the link, book a call, and we can immediately get you started and then look at that 21 to 45 day time frame. In certain cases, of course, it can take longer, but typically we can get you the fastest as compared to most other people in this niche. And this is the citizenship of Vanuatu, and this is the cheapest. The two most important things that I pointed out is that you don't need a passport for travel, you need a passport for diversification purposes. You don't have to go to Vanuatu, you can get this mailed to your home location. And how do you use this? In future, people think, rookies think that they get the passport and how useful that country is going to be for them. It's not about the country of the passports, it's about other residencies where you would actually feel comfortable keeping your assets, but your passport is that foundation, right? So instead of an EU passport, you're using this foundational layer, which is a diversification option, and then your residencies can legally be attached or tagged to this second identity, which is fast, which is cheap, which is secure, which is not going crazy with their due diligence. So as long as you're being legal, as long as you're not doing anything wrong, you have all this bulletproof security in place so that the people who are doing wrong with you cannot mess around, cannot fool around, because you have diversified and secured your options on one side. Now, the reason why I say this is the cheapest possible CBI right now in this world is because you're simply looking at $50,000 of investment, which you get back with interest income. So that is the investment component. So you're making money on this amount, and then the actual fee component is 100K USD. There's a 5K of processing fee to the government, which is not refundable, but the 100K can qualify you to get 4 passports, and you can pick and choose your family members. It could be a wife, your children. If you don't have children, you can include your parents. So whatever you want to do, you can get 4 passports in this price point. So you're looking at $25,000 per passport. Now this is really great to diversify your assets, and because you're getting this for your family members, let's say you're not just simply diversifying on your own, you're utilizing your family to diversify your options, so you have 4 passports to work with. We also work on the fastest possible pathways to residency. So once you have the nationality, we can quickly get you started on the prime residencies, which are beautiful countries around the world, where we can get you a residency permit as soon as possible. Fastest is the same day. Yes, we make it happen legally because we have attorneys who work directly at the immigration offices 8:30 to 5 in most cases, and they legally are able to expedite your application by making sure even before you come to the country, everything is presented and made ready for your arrival. The next one on the list is a natural option, and this is the favorite for a lot of people because this is a beautiful jurisdiction. This is a diversified jurisdiction. It is a safe jurisdiction where you can actually enjoy your time. It's beautiful. There's so many beautiful things to do. So you're going to have a good life in this jurisdiction. You're going to have a safe life in this jurisdiction for you and your family. And this passport is one of the strongest Latin passports. It's a Mercosur access. You're going to have freedom of movement throughout the region, and I'm talking about the country of Argentina. Yes, it's a beautiful country. It's a safe country, and here the qualifying monthly income is simply $2,000. Now, of course, if you add more family members, this slightly goes up, but when you're generating income, let's say it's a business income and you classify this as a passive, let's say you're showing this as dividends legally, right? Everything has to be structured legally. A couple of months of setup, right? So even if you don't have it, by the time you complete your documentation, you're looking at those couple of months. It's just restructuring your existing income that you're getting, showing it as qualifying income legally, or let's say classifying this as qualifying income legally, and our attorney works with you step by step. You want to make sure you get legal help to structure this correctly. The documentation is the key. Everything, the proof is in the pudding. So it's really about the documentation done correctly, so you can work directly with our attorney step by step to create this, present this, and now we are able to get you the precaria in a single day. So you're going home with your precaria, and in a couple of months you get the plastic DNI. In a couple of years you can apply for this beautiful nationality, and that way you can have natural security abroad. A lot of people are interested in getting an interim quick passport in 3 weeks, which could be that Vanuatu citizenship. Now the prices could go up. Right now is the best time to get started if you are looking to add something like this to your portfolio. And let's say you get the Argentina, which fits beautifully with the Vanuatu in next couple of years, you can then trigger that powerful exotic nationality. So eventually you're not just becoming a dual citizen, you're going to have 3 passports, which is the minimum in my opinion for complete plan B protection and security. Yes, you can get 4, yes, you can get 5, that's fine, but that's for the enthusiast, that's for the hobbyist, or that's like an extreme luxury. But the bare minimum for successful people, 3 is the key. Remember Elon Musk, he has 3. He has South Africa, Canada, US. So you could have an EU, Argentina, and Vanuatu. That could be your portfolio. So at any point in time, if you are interested in getting started with any of these options or more, or just click the link, book a call. We can discuss which one is the best and get you started to get you the benefit the fastest. 2025 is the best year to get started on this. Now, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to turn on the bell notification and subscribe, because here I discuss the latest breaking news or changes to any of the programs within the RCBI. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to learn about 15 countries that instantly give you a citizenship, how about this video? This talks about all the passports that compares Vanuatu with the other 14 that are available for purchase. If you haven't seen it, hop on this one right now. See you there.